After 49 episodes, 3.5 years of building, and tens of thousands of bricks, we've finally made it. This is the final episode of the LEGO Minecraft series, and I couldn't think of a better module to end it on than the Stronghold. And today we'll be building not one, but two separate modules to bring the whole LEGO Minecraft world together. It's been an absolutely wild ride, and I hope you'll join me this one last time as we get to building this iconic structure. So like I mentioned earlier, this is a twofer. We're going out in style with the Stronghold here. And the first module that I want to make for our finale episode is the Stronghold Library. It's one of the most iconic rooms in the structure, and I love the vibrance that the bookshelves bring to it. It's going to be a nice fit here in the underground. And naturally, the other module that I'll eventually be making is the portal room. I don't think that was ever up for debate. That is an absolute must for a series like this. As I lay out the library here, I am going to be taking a few creative liberties to help it scale better with minifigures. Minifigures end up being much larger than a player model, so I'm going to end up spacing the bookshelves out a bit more so you can fit a minifigure between them. The good news is, with this episode being two modules as well, you get twice the amount of tiling time. Now, one thing I'm really excited to add is LEGO's new ladder piece. Unfortunately, there's no dark bluish 1x2 gray clips to attach it with, so I'm gonna have to get a little creative here. And also, when I recorded this, the ladders hadn't shown up yet either. What did show up though was an order of cobwebs in the mail. These first showed up in some Spider-Man sets back in 2019, and honestly, I think it works pretty well here. It doesn't convey that perfect blockiness, but Minecraft's model doesn't do that exactly either. Next, we can go ahead and start installing some of the bookshelves. This actually uses LEGO's official design. There's probably a way to overcomplicate this, but this is so easy to use. It gets all the colors you'd want to see from the bookshelf, and I think there's something to be said for its familiarity too. If you do use a different bookshelf design, let me know about it. I'd be curious to see if someone has come up with something better. I'll get the wall attached on the other side, and though I've done a pretty poor job of framing it, there is indeed an entrance to a corridor that leads out to the next module. And here's those spaced out bookshelves I talked about earlier, and I've made sure to include plenty of cobwebs on them too. Each cobweb has a bar on either side, and I've got one of those Exoforce robot hands gripping the back inserted into a regular 1x1 snot brick to hold it in place. I'm really happy with how this is turning out so far. We've got a great variety of textures and colors going on, and don't worry, I'll definitely be doing the second layer too. But first off, we have to build up the terrain on the other side of the module. Remember, this is a 1x3 module, it's pretty big. And with this being the finale episode and all, I'm going to try to add as many ores in here as possible. Gonna go all out, starting with something super exciting, like coal. The layer above the coal here though is actually going to open up into a cave. This is the cave that you'll find beneath the Cherry Blossom Grove. See how this is all kind of starting to line up? That's going to serve as the main entrance into the Stronghold, where the structure has naturally been cut into by the cave system. I think it's always really fun to stumble across a stronghold like that when you're playing the game. Small as this cave section is going to end up being, it does give us a wonderful opportunity for a little bit more tiling time. I wasn't about to leave sand red out of the final episode of the LEGO Minecraft series. Don't you worry, I've got a good patch of granite in the back there. That's gonna pretty much bring the cave to completion, and during the time it took to build that, the new June Minecraft sets finally showed up, so I can get those ladders added here. These elements are fantastic. They're brand new for the summer of 2025 LEGO Minecraft sets, and they've included them in quite a number of the summer releases. I'll definitely have to go back and add these to the Polar Igloo Creepy Basement from the Ice Spikes episode. Those weren't the only elements that I was waiting on though, because over my many years of building the LEGO Minecraft world, I completely churned through my collection of medium nougat masonry bricks. So I had to get another 150 of those to make the second layer of the library. And that's because they're going to be used top and bottom of the second floor. I want to get that beautiful plank texture everywhere. And the backside of the masonry brick works perfectly for that. I've left a few snot bricks scattered along the top as well so that we can attach the fence that runs the perimeter of this balcony. And for this fence, I'll be using a design more consistent with the one that appears in official LEGO sets. It just works the best for corners especially. Next, it's time to start working on the second level, which is going to be much simpler than the one below it, featuring only a few bookshelves on the far wall. Here I'll need even more of those masonry bricks, so I'm glad I stocked up again. I love how the colors of the bookshelves here turned out, but I'll be happy to not have to build this many again for hopefully a very long time. And it's at this stage in the build where I ran out of time because I had to move. So I hope you don't mind the change in scenery here, as I have a bit of a different building room. And this is where I'm going to start the second module of the Stronghold, the portal room. And I can't think of a better way to kick things off in the new space than our final tiling time. That's it. Crazy to think about. The next step here is going to be adding the portal itself. I've pre-assembled this in a few different sections, and I realize here that I totally didn't leave enough room for the staircase. I just got a little too carried away laying down the tiles, I suppose. The other important feature included in this room, of course, is the spawner, and I'm going to be using the same technique I used from the skeleton dungeon module, and I've also since updated the trial chambers with that same design. The actual portal is more or less taken from the official LEGO Stronghold set, which is well overdue for a remake at this point. I've left this portal around built for years just waiting for this moment, but I realize now it might be best if I actually take out one of those eyes of Ender. I think the use of the dots tiles here works pretty well as the suggestion that one of these portal frames has yet to be filled. And with this being the last module, I don't want to skimp out on the lighting here. I'm definitely going to make that lava below glow. And I'll be making use of a tried and true Cheesy Studios technique here, one that I employed quite frequently, especially with the Nether sub-series. Third-party LEGO lighting can get absurdly expensive, so I try to find cheaper alternatives, like these fairy lights that I picked up for like $6 at Walmart. The wires are plenty thin and really easy to use with LEGO, and on this particular strand there were 50 bulbs, meaning you could light up 50 different things. We'll have plenty of extra bulbs left over to light up other things in this module, which is always great. Like in all the previous modules where I use this, I try to put transparent orange tiles over the bulbs and then use regular orange tiles over the rest. This particular box of fairy lights has like 8 different settings, but thankfully the last of the 8 is a solid on option. I'll get that portal reinstalled and then we can start working on the back wall. I'll need to leave a little bit of a hole in the wall so I can run that same wire into the secondary lava pit that you'll find near the entrance of the portal room. You better believe that I'll be making that light up too. And don't worry, we've still got plenty of bulbs left over, and I've got a plan for these too. I'm bringing out the old nozzle pieces to use for iron bars. That was actually a technique introduced once again in the original Stronghold set, and then I'll install the rest of that outer wall. With that and the lights turned on, you can really see the mood starting to set in here. It looks fantastic. Especially that glow of the lava reflecting off the other bricks. I just love that. Lighting does add a ton to any LEGO creation. And speaking of lighting, what I want to do with the rest of those bulbs is actually hide them behind the little windows that you'll find around the perimeter of the room. It allows just a bit more light to come into the space and should create some interesting shadows behind the iron bars. Maybe you missed it earlier, but I want to highlight the iron door because it's truly bizarre. It's made from very light gray and very light bluish gray colored elements. You'll find some very light gray elements included in a few sets throughout the years, and as you can imagine, the very light bluish gray version of the color also came about during the 2004 color swaps with the rest of the grays. But what you won't find in a set, current or retired, are these 2x2 plates. These were produced for Legoland models, and some of them from time to time just make their way onto Bricklink. It's an extraordinarily useful color, finding itself perfectly between white and light bluish gray. A light gray door would have looked ridiculous, and a blindingly white iron door would have also looked ridiculous. It was just the perfect fit. There's just a few more layers to go here, and the room itself will be done. Here you can see how those remaining lights came out looking too. I very much like the effect. Somehow I managed to run out of inverted 2x2 dark bluish gray tiles, so I'm going to be using snot techniques for the ceiling instead. And just like that, the structure itself is done, though we still have a bit of rock work to build up along on the sides. I'll get these two modules connected together because remember, we haven't quite finished the first one yet either. That needs some terrain in place too. But just look at how long these things are together. This is the length of 3 chunks after all. It's a lot of brick. I'll get the chest added into the library. That of course is essential. Who knows what goodies could potentially be in there. And then I'll place the last wall that I need to on the library side of the build. The 2-level library barely fits within our 13-block height limit for the underground modules, but we've got an extra 2 blocks above everything for a relatively strong ceiling. It should be able to support the modules above just fine. The finishing touch here is going to be the chandelier. It's not a mind-boggling build by any means, but it gets the job done. The last thing I have to finish up here is just the remaining terrain around the portal room. This should be a really easy addition, and you better believe it, I'm gonna add some sand red in here too. I mean, how could I pass up an opportunity to add some granite in one last time? Of course, we need to liven this place up with some mobs and figures. I'm gonna make this stronghold spawn in a slime chunk, so we've got some baby slimes here, as well as the rabbit rancher from the Rabbit Ranch set. I have no idea how I forgot to add this figure earlier on, but hey, she fits in here great as a random player who stumbled across this very dangerous cave. I'm gonna put some hostile mobs, skeletons specifically, in the library. I feel like this place always has a horde of mobs to look out for. And then I'm going to add the damaged player in here too, ironically getting killed by a silverfish, which has happened to me before in the Stronghold. This figure is a gift from last year's contest winner, McCluckles. Thank you so much for sending this over. Such a fun figure. The Minecraft silverfish are indeed official parts. There was 2 included in one set, the Bedrock Adventures from a number of years back. Unfortunately, this guy goes for about $7 on Bricklink these days. Hopefully they'll re-release the element one day. It's a really cool piece, really cool mob. I've got 2 more player skins that haven't made their way into the world before. These are bulls from the Parrot Houses set earlier this year, and they're the ones going to be attaching the final eye to the portal. And then for finishing touches, I do have one last silverfish I've got to throw in here, and then I think it's appropriate to have an Enderman guarding the end dimension. And there you go. There's the completed Stronghold modules. The completed model is quite expansive, and I love how many details that are packed in here. To provide a bit of context, here's what the surface modules look like above, with the Cherry Blossom Grove on the left and the Plains Village in the center. The Cherry Blossom Cave lines up really nicely. It's cool to see some sections of the display like this where the surface flows seamlessly into the underground. I don't know, it makes it look like this was all planned or something. In regard to the placement of the Stronghold itself though, this actually fulfills one of my earliest requests in the series. You guys have been asking for a Stronghold beneath the village for years. This apparently was a common feature of early Bedrock Edition worlds, and I think it's just cool to have structures stacked on top of each other like this. Just another reason that the LEGO Minecraft World seed is the best. I want to sincerely thank the hundreds of people who have made this project possible through their monetary support. Thanks to you guys, I never had to shell out to a random sponsor because the series was sponsored by all of you. Thank you for trusting me to deliver on this project, and I hope I can continue to make awesome stuff for you for many, many years to come. If you see anybody in the comment section who has a colored brick next to their name, be sure to drop them a thank you too, because those there are the people that made this series happen. So, what's next? Well, the first step is one I'd like to dedicate an entire video to, and that's the assembling of the entire world, all 50 modules, and don't worry, I'm not going to make you wait a month for this one. I just need a few more days to polish this video up, and I think you can even expect it out by Friday of this week. The video aims to recap the entire journey of the Minecraft world and serve as a true finale to the series. Plus, you can look forward to a director's cut of the series at some point too. So don't worry, there is plenty of LEGO Minecraft content headed your way yet. Whether you've been here since day one or just stumbled across this series today, thank you so much for watching. Bringing this world to life has been a delight, and it's a genuine pleasure to share it with all of you. I'll see you again very soon for that recap video, and until then, I hope you have yourself a great life.